PhD research in the UK in the late 80s. He then pursued his career with an international electronics company based in the US to build robotics automation line for the global company, which has successfully commissioned for global production. And after gaining experience in robotics and computer integrated manufacturing system in the mid-90s, he then ventured into the venture capitalist world to expose himself with the global financial and technological market. So he's currently the executive chairman of TRobot, or Tech Capital Resources Iskandar Berhad, and is now focusing on building robotics collaboration model between Malaysia and other developed world in robotics. Assalamualaikum, and how are you doing, Dr. Iskandar?
I'm fine, thank you.
All right, so I think you are also one of the members in the Academy Science Malaysia Robotics Roadmap, am I right?
Yes, yeah. How do you find that out?
Yeah, we engage them as well, and I realized that you are one of the team members in there.
Yeah, one of the task force. Yeah, I was one of the task force leader in that. Yeah,
good. So we are really grateful to have you with us today. So I'll share the floor to you, so you can share your screen and share about TRobots. Thank you so much, Dr. Iskandar.
Thank you, Farhan, for having me here. I'll share my screen. Can you see my screen, Farhan?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for inviting us. As being informed just now, maybe for our knowledge sharing session here today, I would like to share a bit about our company, what we do, and all that. So I'm the executive chairman of TRobots. Maybe if I can start with sharing our website first, in terms of what we do. Yeah. So if you go to our website, you will see that basically this is a bit about us. So we actually specialize in in-house engineering, robotics development, systems integration, machine design, and all that. Yeah. So these are the videos of our previous projects that we do. Okay. So I can say that we are basically, in terms of very proud to be part of the MTDC ecosystem. MTDC has been very supportive to us in terms of spearheading the robotics ecosystem in Malaysia. So our journey in robotics actually started when we were doing projects for the furniture industry. So we started in actually building what we call the computerized panel saw system. So what we did was there's customer requests that wanted us to reverse engineer their current panel saw that they import from Germany, from Taiwan, from China. So myself and Mr. Eugene, my CEO, and a few of us, we got together and we managed to basically reverse engineer those panel saw that is mainly used in the furniture industry. So when we managed to reverse engineer those machines in terms of number one, taking over of the embedded controller in those machines, having access to the software, and we improve the software, a bit of machine intelligence, and we get it into the cloud, into the IoT. So suddenly the value of those machines gone up, okay? And also working with our partner, local fabricator, we were managed to fabricate it locally. So when we were successful with that project and with that customer, the customer was very happy because the financial impact for the customer was, there was almost like 50% savings in terms of the purchase procurement price that they used to import from overseas. That's number one. Number two was really because of the after-sales support that they get. Immediately, they don't have to worry about who's going to support them after sales. So then we got funding support from MOSTI. With the, at that time was the Techno Fund. So with the funding, again, we managed to enhance our robotics design, I can say. So we further fabricate the new machines for the furniture industry. And then after that, we were actually approached by MTDC, or we approached MTDC actually, to get some financial support because we are a startup and all that. And I myself as multinational, and then decided to set up my own company with my partners. So we started this venture, and I think with the funding that we get from MTDC, we were able to do a lot more bigger projects. So then we started going into building, in-house, we start building our own robots. So of course, when you talk about robots, we don't want to compete with the articulated robots. So we started with the so-called the linear robots. So these are some of the robots that we built. So we have the capabilities in-house to build any type of linear robots. So this is a robot that we have. This is the robot that we did for the furniture industry, some of the technical specs and all that. So meaning that when you talk about building linear robots, we don't have that problem. Yeah? And we also go into what we call the robotics arm, collaborating with our Korean partner. We actually partner with another Korean company. They are into what we call the industrial grade SCARA robot. So we went into this because we found that most SME, they cannot afford to buy a robot. So working with this technology from Korea, we managed to partner where we will localize the robot for the specs that is needed by the local company. So immediately we have in terms of the frame, we have all the frames, we have the controller, we have the software. So after that, it's just a matter of doing the applications for it. So we feel that SCARA is the place where, when you involve a lot of pick and place, a lot of foreign labor is involved. So we started going into that. And then the other project is more on the systems level, which is, as we all know, that now it's a very hot topic, which is smart manufacturing. So we talk about manufacturing data acquisition and management. So we also build MES platforms. Yeah. So these are our platforms that we built. We are currently having a customer, quite a big customer, a public listed customer that we are serving. So who is using our systems? Yeah? In terms of projects, we have the previous projects that we do is, these are some of the previous projects that we do. We go into automated electrode sorting system, smart agrobotic greenhouse is very popular, and also the smart seeding, and also maintenance, repair, and factory automations and all that. So basically, as you can see that in-house, we have actually developed already what we call the local capabilities. Okay. So, but what I want to share here is actually, looking into the future, what TRobot, what we want to be. We want to be a company that is being, recognized, has the capability to build and fabricate an artificially intelligent robot. Yeah. So right now, in terms of robotics, we have the expertise in terms of actually to build a robot, where we know a robot is nothing more than a machine that has a physical form. Okay. At the same time, we also have a team that is looking into artificial intelligence. So as you know, AI is a software, so it doesn't need to be physical. Especially now with the coming of RPA, robot process automation, a lot of bots, AI bots and all that. So that's also another field that is growing as well. So if we want to combine the robotics and also the artificial intelligence components, so that as TRobot, we will be able to build our own AI software plus robot machines, which we call artificially intelligent robots. So if there is any potential customer who has an internal demand, who wants to build their own robots and then to become artificial intelligence, you can either come from the robotics perspective, where you have a robot, but you want to make that robot artificial intelligence. So meaning that we will include in the AI component, or you are an AI company who wants to have a robotics component to your business. You can also talk to us. We can build the robots, and then by the end of the day, we come up with our own artificial intelligent robot. So I think this is a new market for Malaysia. Yeah, for Malaysia. In terms of internal capabilities, as we all know, to build robots, this is what we have internally. Plus, with the involvement, at least my personal involvement in the National Robotics Roadmap, we foresee that for future Malaysia to be able to compete globally in the robotics market space, we must have all these components in our company. We call it the Internet of Robotic Things, IORT, Internet of Robotic Things. So in our company, we have people who specializes in mechanical engineering. So they look into the mechatronics, the 3D printing, the CAM and materials. Electrical engineering, very, very important. You talk about the hardware, the sensor, actuator, as our colleague mentioned previously, and all those. Software engineering, internally, maybe we partner with people who has the strength. We don't have a very strong team yet in software engineering, but we are trying to collaborate with universities and also software houses who does this, okay? So we need good software engineering teams, and then computer science. These are about the edge computer and the theory of computation distributed. So we have internal capabilities in this. That's how we build our own automated machines. Modeling, mathematics, material science, also the law, because slowly we see that there's more and more needs for us to, when we design a robot, we have to make sure that the robots and also the collective robots, we are in compliance to global standards. Yeah. So I'm trying to build my company, TRobot, such that we are always following the global standards in terms of robotics. So that's very important. So that once we follow the global standards, we are able to export our robots overseas. Next is artificial intelligence, very important. Cognitive science, psychology, physics, and finally biology. So when you talk about where we are now in terms of trying to build our own Internet of Robotic Things, these are the components that we are trying to develop in-house. I can say we are almost 40 or 50% there in terms of doing it. The next thing is, I think we are all very familiar with this slide, okay? So when you talk about Industrial Revolution 4.0, we cannot run away from this impact of the dual function, yeah? Which, as you know, that we started the journey in terms of Industrial Revolution 1.0, 2.0, 3.0 is more about basically empowering the company or the corporation. Meaning the technology empowers the company to make production. So we have the mechanical, electrical, and also the internet, okay? But the limitation there, we're looking at things like in terms of scalable efficiency, doing things right, because we have to make sure that we want to scale efficiently, that we must be doing the things right now. So that is the era of those days. Then we go into digital 4.0. Here is we start empowering the people, meaning that the people now have take charge of the production or the manufacturing, or and all that. So meaning that the technology will do all the work, and then the technology do all the work. So for us to do that, then we need to go into, there's no choice, we need to go into the digital space. Okay, so when you go into the digital space, then the responsibility on reliance on people is less. So meaning that we can now talk about empowering people to to make decisions and all that. So this is the direction that we are now looking into. So there's now a blurring of the physical and cyber divide, and also there's a lot of impact on society and all that. So in terms of TRobots, we see our business growing into this sector. We started from a robot building company. We started from a robot building company. Then we start going into understanding the needs in terms of the robotization. When I talk about robotization, we see that the combination of robotics, artificially intelligent robots, we see in terms of combination of robots and also AI. Okay, and then thirdly is that we start seeing the blurring in terms of the deployment. In terms of the smart manufacturing, the digitization, there's many players. So we want to make sure that we always maintain our position as being a niche player, where we do a bit of of R&D, engineering customization for our customer, so that the customer will look at us as their outsourcing partner for any engineering department, or or R&D and all those requirements, such that once they see that it's been successful, then a matter of doing mass production and all that is a non-issue. So this is basically what I have today in terms of trying to share in terms of. Okay, my final slide. This is basically, I can say, the journey that we went through. We started with customized machine fabrication, and then we went into edge robotics. We went to agriculture robotics, and then we went into edge robotics, and then we started doing manufacturing process automation. We also did a bit of work on a vehicle diagnostic and management system. This is very much for the public buses. We were among the early pioneers in Putrajaya to actually be able to monitor the carbon footprint for the buses in Putrajaya and Cyberjaya. And then we started exploring into cloud robotics for cobots. And then also recently we're looking into a bit of manufacturing execution system. So this is very much our product line in terms of what we do. And I'm hoping that there'll be a lot of interest from our meeting today in terms of how we can add value to our customer. So I think with that, I would like to end my presentation here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Iskandar. I think that's a really good presentation. And I used to work for the government agency that manages MSC, and I'm sorry for not knowing that TRobot is part of the MSC companies. And I think this is something that
we're an MSC company.
Yes. So and prior to that, I was working for a manufacturing facility company based in Pasir Gudang as well. And every time we plan, because in manufacturing line, we always try to improve and do R&D. And a lot of the companies that we engaged before was coming from outside of Malaysia. And we are not aware, or we are not connected with the local automation and robotic companies that actually has this kind of capabilities.
Thank you.
And I think this is why we need to have more of this kind of engagement and sessions. And that's why I think in today's session. So we will also be recording everyone's session today, so that we would be able to share it on our social media. So if you would like to view this session later, so you can also go to Iskandar Innovation Hub YouTube, and we'll try to do a social media shout out, so that more clients, more end users out there realizes, that there are a lot of local products and solution companies that can help them improve their productivity. So if you do have any questions to Dr. Iskandar, you can click on the QR code here, so that we can get you to engage directly with Dr. Iskandar and the TRobot team. All right. So thank you so much again, Dr. Iskandar. Hopefully you can stay on until the end of the session. I think
actually I'm on the